Thanks for watching HCAM. If you want to help create content like this, become an HCAM member. As a member, you'll have access to professional quality equipment and software, as well as guidance from HCAM staff. Come see us at 35 Pond Park Road, Suite 8, conveniently located near Route 3 and Derby Street in Hingham.
Welcome back to the HCAM studio in Hingham, Massachusetts, and the Optimist Island show with Neil Wood. I'm really excited to introduce our guest today. 3 years ago, I wrote an Amazon best-selling book about online dating. I had great success with online dating after my positive experience of finding dates through the online companies like Match.com, Plenty of Fish, and eHarmony, for example. I want to teach others how to navigate that minefield. It can be challenging at times, and it can be very, very time-consuming. But compared to finding dates 25 years ago, this was a very quick process to find dates with similar interests, characteristics, and hobbies who lived within 5, 10, and 20 miles. Since then, I've spoken to many people who have not had positive experiences like I had. Many of the profiles are fake, meaning the photos and the descriptions of the people in their profile are fraudulent. There are also many scammers out there posing as someone else, wooing people to fall in love with them, and then scamming them for money. Honestly, I'm disappointed that the dating sites don't screen their customers very closely. In fact, they don't screen them at all. Personally, I believe that the vast majority of people in the world are really honest. They're kind, they're real. The small percentage of scammers really turn many people away from online dating. These dating sites are still very active with real people, of course, but you have to be aware and careful. Having said all that, since this is a show about optimism, having hope, finding resources to make life even better, I have a solution for you disgruntled online daters and your friends who are looking for love in all the wrong places. I recently spoke to a few friends who've had wonderful results using a local Boston-based dating service with actual dating experts. Today we have one of the experts from Lunch Dates, servicing the greater Boston area. Amy Burke is a dating coach and an expert based in Braintree, Massachusetts. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for
So
having
good to see
me.
you. Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. And we talked about your background earlier, and I want to jump right into the questions.
Sure.
And I'm fascinated by what I've read about you. Your background is just amazing to me. So tell us more about who you are.
So Lunch Dates, so we've been around for over 35 years. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We're actually the only Boston-based matchmaking service that has an A+ rating. We're locally owned, we work right in Boston. And we do lunch dates, but we also do a lot of, drinks after work, dates on the weekends as well. And some of the reasons why our clients like us so much is because we're completely offline matchmaking service. So you're always working with a real person. And my clients just really appreciate more personal service. And my clients are great. They're typically well-educated, busy professionals. They're normal people. And they don't want to meet anybody at the bar. They're trying online dating, and they just want a more dignified way to meet somebody. And they don't want to waste their time, dating for the sake of dating.
Right.
And they like the fact that we do all the work for them too.
Yeah.
So I meet all my clients in person. We do an interview. I get to know what they like, what they don't like, what their relationship goals are. Based on those things, if I can take them on as a client, I do. And then, I get their schedule. I get the schedule of the person I'm matching them up with. I find a restaurant that's convenient for both of them. We make the reservations under their names.
Oh, wow.
And all they have to do is get dressed, show up, and have fun. So it's low maintenance dating, but at the end of the day, all my clients want to get into relationships.
Yes.
And that definition is different for everybody, but that's why my clients come to me. I mean, they really want to be proactive in their dating life. And we're successful, and that's what we do.
Wow. Well, I've done a lot of online dating in the past through various various companies, and I have found that there are a lot of fraudulent profiles out there. That would never happen with you because you're interviewing these people face to face. Right. And in terms of wasting time, you're saving them so much time. You're putting them with a good match for them, right? I'm finding that that's less the case online.
Yeah, I mean, most of my clients that tried online, they like the fact that, we meet everybody face to face. We know they are who they say they are. They look like who we describe them to be. we get referrals, so we've never had an issue with any type of fraud or anything, and that definitely is the case. When I speak to my singles, either they know somebody that's been a victim of online dating scams,
Yes.
or they've been solicited by it, and I definitely hear more of those stories now than maybe a few years back, and I think it's just because there's just so much opportunity for people to scam people out there because there's so many people are online. So.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good point. Absolutely. What else have you heard about online dating turnoffs? We have fraudulent profiles.
Yep.
The scammers from God knows what country, right?
I would say that my singles would say to me, not everybody's there for a relationship, and that's true. I mean,
right.
people are there for different reasons. People are new to the area; they want to make friends. People just want a good time for a night. People travel for work and they just want someone to have dinner with and have some fun. Some people do want relationships. It's a mixed bag. There's no filter. I mean, there's some dating websites that will say we are the relationship website, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're attracting those people. They're attracting everybody.
Yes.
So I would say that's one of them. Obviously we said that people don't look like their pictures. And that's 50% of online profiles are fraudulent in some way. So people are going to lie about their height, their weight, their level of education, how much money they make, what they look like, and that's because at the end of the day, they want to put their best foot forward. And I know it drives people crazy. Why would people do that? It's like, well, they might not get a date otherwise, or they might be wishfully thinking that they're going to blow you away when you see them in person. But I think online dating is really good if you want to get lots of dates, but it's not really good if you want to get into a relationship. At least that's my opinion.
That's a good point. That's a point. I heard something about penny wise. I forget where this quote came from.
Oh, so online dating is a dating service, right? But I say penny wise and pound foolish because you are using a dating service, but if you use one of the free, dating apps, you paid nothing for it. My clients, it's a little bit different. There is an investment to work with us, but you're working with professional matchmakers.
Right.
People that we deliver results. We get you into a relationship. We have a vested interest in your success. We talk to you, we meet you in person, we talk on the phone after each of your dates. My clients give me feedback, how much time they spent with each other, what they liked about the person, were they physically attracted. I mean, you really can't do that with the dating app.
No, not at all.
Except give them money and never see it again.
Right.
So.
Now, if I came to you to hire you for this dating service, how long would you meet with me for an hour to get to know me as a person?
Yeah, we do the interview's about a half hour, but then we'll meet in person and it can be about an hour, and then we have phone conversations after each of the dates. So it really depends on, it could be great, it could be, I had a fantastic time with her, did she like me? And then I just give you the thumbs up and I say, go call her again. Will you call her, get the next date scheduled? Or, it wasn't chemistry there, but, great, intelligent person, could be a great friend, but the chemistry wasn't there. So what is that about that? Because a lot of times with my singles, I say, what are you physically attracted to? And it's like, well, healthy, good looking. It's like, it's really generic. And so sometimes, and if you look at maybe past relationships, you can say, well, that one didn't even look like the last one. So that's the hard thing to kind of put your thumb on, is like the chemistry factor between two people. So
it's going to be pretty exciting for you to connect two people and bam, it's just fireworks.
Yeah.
You must feel so grateful because you brought these two together, and they probably never would have met.
Right.
Because they're busy, they could live 10 miles away, they go to different gyms or supermarkets or yoga studios.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why they work with me, is because, I'll put my client in an environment with another quality person they probably would have never met on their own, because people are so busy. They're professionals, they're running around with their family, their friends, they're traveling, and it's like, well, when am I going to have time to meet that person? So I'm out there looking. I always say I leave no stone unturned. I know what you're looking for. I have plenty of clients that are great matches for you, but if I meet somebody at the supermarket, a networking event, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say, are you single?
Yes.
Tell me about yourself. You're a great match for one of my clients. Let me see your card. Let's
good.
go. I mean, I'll just go for it. And that's why I think my clients can kind of rest easy to say, I've got somebody out there working for me.
Yes.
I say I'm a hired gun for your love life. So, yeah.
What about the age range?
So my clients are probably, 25 to 65. I mean,
The whole gamut.
yeah. I mean, half the U.S. population is single.
Right.
So we're, extremely busy.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think so because of all the online dating apps, right? You'd say, okay, matchmakers must be, they're old-fashioned. People aren't using them anymore. But it's actually the opposite effect, which I think is fascinating, right? And that's the reason what we said about all the reasons why people don't like online dating and they're getting turned off by it. It's like they jump in, they try it for a while, they don't get good results, they detach, and then they get involved with their life. Okay, should really go out there and meet someone, they try it again, doesn't work, they detach. So it's like, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
That's right.
Then they say, what else could I do? So that's why they call us.
It's one of the reasons I actually asked you to be on the show. I looked at your background, and what fascinated me and what I was really drawn to is you have always been in the helping people business. And I just think it's a perfect background for what you're doing right now. And I have run into so many friends who did, just like you said, they tried online dating like, Neil, I tried it. Just too many losers out there. And not to call people losers, but this is their words. And they asked me, what else can I do? Because I've been single for 6 months. I don't want it to be 6 years. So how can I get going? And I'd heard great things about you and lunch dates, and I thought, we need to get you on the show. Because there are a lot of people on the South Shore, and you service the South Shore. Right?
Yep. Our headquarters is in Braintree, but we have an office at the Prudential, Burlington, Newton. We have clients all the way up to Nashua, New Hampshire, all the way down to Providence.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm also in the helping business. This show is all about hope and optimism and helping folks and spreading the word. So what else could you like to tell me?
Well, I know we were talking about, so I also do some date coaching. And so
yes, I want to talk about that.
One of the questions that I will get from my clients is, what the do's and don'ts, or what to do to have a good first date, what to avoid on a first date. So, probably the most popular thing that I will tell them to do is do not, talk about exes.
Right.
Don't talk about exes, don't talk about past relationships. Don't talk about dating, and for some reason, I don't know what it is innate about our human nature that we just verbally just vomit this stuff on the first date, because that's probably the one thing we have in common. Hey, we're both single. Hey, we both have an ex somewhere. Hey, we're both dating. Let's exchange war stories. And that's the worst thing to do, because it doesn't make me, if you're telling me a story, it doesn't make me feel good, and vice versa. So we say avoid talking about that. And even after we say that, sometimes people will go ahead and talk about it. And it's like, why did you do that? It's like, well, I just wasn't sure what to say. So, and sometimes don't focus on it, and then they focus on it. So, the first date is really to keep it light, fun, get to know each other. It's calm down the nerves, figure out if there's some chemistry there. So, talk about things like I always say, what are you passionate about? Because that's a great thing to talk about, and it kind of, brings the energy up in the person. If somebody likes to paint, I draw and I sketch, and I really love to be outside in nature and paint those things. That's a great thing to talk about, because it really, when you tell that story and the other person's watching you, they can really see you fill up with this positive energy, and you light up and you be bright, versus, so my ex-boyfriend is just such a jerk, and there's all these jerk guys. I'm just got this low energy, and you're just like, I'm not asking her out again.
No, that's right.
So no exes. Talk about something that you're passionate about, and which I'm doing right now. Don't talk too much. Ask the other person questions. Because I hear that a lot, unfortunately, from the women about the men, and maybe that's a set of nerves that the men just talk a lot. Because women, we're supposed to be the talkers. But they're like, I couldn't get a word, and he kept talking. So it's like, you got to be able to pause. And the thing is, here's the secret, right? If you like the other person, try to ask more questions and talk less. Because then that person's like, wow, he really heard me. He really was connecting with me. You could say nothing all night and just ask me questions. At the end of the night, was he great? He was great. Yeah, no, he was just, we had a fantastic conversation. You didn't say a word, by the way, but I was talking the whole time, but you were interested in me, so I feel good about myself, and I feel like we connected. So that's a tip. And don't talk about anything that polarizes you. So the thing about a first date is you want to create common ground, right? Well, hopefully if you like each other, that's what you're trying to do. So if you talk about religion, if you talk about politics, you talk about anything like that that could potentially split right down the middle, then you're doing a disservice to yourself. The whole point is to build a bond and build a bridge. So avoid those things. So that's kind of the common things. And the other thing too is don't go to a place that's loud or noisy.
Right.
You want to go to a quiet place where you can have a conversation.
Yes.
So there might be a great movie coming out on a Friday night, and we both want to see it. So there's something we have in common. But if it's our first date, we're standing there not talking to each other, and at the end it's like, I remember the movie, but I don't remember you.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Or if we go to a loud music concert, it's like, well, we couldn't really talk. So there's a natural progression on how dates should evolve to have the best dating experiences. First date is about finding a nice, quiet restaurant, coffee shop, whatever it is. Some place probably like that. I wouldn't say like a picnic. You could do a picnic, but that's a lot of pressure, especially if you're meeting for the first time. I would save that for maybe third date. But first date, short and sweet, hour, an hour and a half. If it's a great first date, we had a couple actually that's been married for over 20 years, and their first date was 9 hours long. But they got married and they had a son, and so sometimes it turns into that too. There's no rules, I guess, when there's that much of a connection. But I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, you did, and you talked about you offer coaching. If the whole company does that, Huh. What a benefit!
Yeah.
Because I've met many people who got divorced after 25 years of marriage, and they're like, "How the heck do I start dating now? What do I do?
Right.
I've been out of that whole scene for years."
Right.
And the world has changed. So you provide the coaching for that. I like that.
Yeah.
The other thing that we talked about is, you offer lunch dates. So it's going to be an hour, maybe, hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Generally, when I meet a woman for the first time on a first date, I'll meet for coffee. Because we're going to know pretty much instantly if we have chemistry. And if we don't, it's easy to walk away. And if we do, we could stay and end up going to lunch. So I like that, how that's set up.
Yeah, and we do drinks after work too. We do weekend dates. So some people can't get away for lunch.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
of
so
course.
we do the weekend dates too. But we'll do like a brunch or like a lunch or something like that. Sit down dinner for a first date is a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
Especially if I'm looking at you to pick up the tab.
Well, it's also a lot of pressure if there's no chemistry. And after 5 minutes, like, oh my God,
slide the bill over.
I'm going to be here for an hour. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I've had a few of those.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do dinner.
No.
You could order apps. So here's one. You could order apps if you like each other, especially if you're the guy and you pick it up on that I like you. You say, do you want to stay for dinner? I say yes.
Yes.
That's a green light to say I like you back. So there's like a secret code. Yeah.
You love what you do.
Yeah.
I can just tell you're glowing. And this is what you're talking about with getting people on the first date to talk about their passions.
Yeah.
And your passion's coming out. You're just glowing.
Yeah.
Not many people do what they love for work.
I know.
And when you find people who are passionate about what they're doing, it's not work.
No.
And it's just exciting.
Yeah.
So that's good. What about the industries? What do you cover? Just about every industry? With financial services in Boston and healthcare and all that?
Yep. I have CEOs of companies. I have I have men that own their own plumbing businesses. I also have school teachers. I have nurses. I have attorneys. It's really anybody. I would say, majority of my clients are probably well educated. That's probably a common trend. But definitely, there's a lot of my clients that have good street smarts too. They definitely can carry on the conversation. They're successful in some capacity. But ultimately, they want to get into a relationship. I think the one common denominator is they want to get into a relationship. Now that is different. Their relationship goals are different based on where they are in life. So what I mentioned to you earlier, we take clients from 25 to 65.
Right.
So my millennials, which believe it or not, we have a ton of millennials, which you wouldn't think because they're on the phones, right? But we actually do because they're just so overwhelmed with all the choices online that they're I just want a boyfriend, I just want a girlfriend, I just want to find a quality person.
Yes.
So those are their relationship goals. Just want a girlfriend or boyfriend, or it's, I want to meet a quality professional single and figure out what I like. What type of person? Do I like an introvert? Do I like an extrovert? Do I like someone that's highly intellectual? Do I like the creative type? I don't know yet. I'm 27 years old.
Right.
Versus, people in my clients in their 30s, some want to get married and have kids. That seems typical. Others are, I'm kind of outside the box. I'm non-traditional. I have a great career. I'm an entrepreneur, and I just really want a great partner. And if marriage and kids happen, great. If they don't, it doesn't matter. It's about that person.
Good.
Clients in their, maybe 40s, 50s, probably had some relationships, right?
Yes.
So hopefully they've learned from the past, and it's more about, I really need to find that person that really complements me. You know, they're a whole person inside themselves, but they want somebody that, you know they can't be with another extrovert because, you know, they're always in the spotlight, or
Right.
they need someone that can really communicate well. You know, you can't clam up because I need to express myself, you need to, you know, vice versa. Or, you know, I'm a busy professional, I need you to have a life of your own. You know, those type of things. So it's really finding the person that complements them. And then I have clients in their 60s and 70s, and it's more about companionship.
Right.
It's about, I want a travel partner, I want someone to have dinner with, I want someone, and I want this person to be with me for the rest of my life. Not that that doesn't happen in all stages of life, but
Right.
ultimately this is probably the last relationship that they'll have.
Yes.
And it's that much more meaningful when it does happen.
Yes.
You know, if I have a couple that gets married in their 60s, it's like, what a wonderful blessing that is to be able to give that to them and have them spend the rest of their years together. And, you know, there is no age where love can't happen, which is great. You know,
Yes.
as long as you are proactive and you have the mindset that it can happen to you. So, and I, you know, I always, when I write about it, because I write the advice column for lunch dates,
Yes.
I always say that, you know, dating is more about the inside than the outside. It's about where you are as a person, and it really is. And it sounds cliche, but the more you work on yourself, you know, the more you'll be open to finding great people.
Yes.
You know, if you have a checklist of, we were talking about this earlier,
Right.
all these things that he or she must have, must be this, must be this, must be this. And then I'll say to you, well, what are you bringing to the table?
Good.
Why would that person want you? You want someone that's financially secure, but you're in debt.
Right.
You know, you want someone with the clean house, but your car's a mess.
Yes.
You know, you want someone with the six-pack, but you haven't seen the inside of a gym in 5 years. So
Good for
what's
you.
going on?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna do that, you know. So it's, you know, it goes back to why the picture's 15 years old.
Right.
Because they're not looking in the mirror, you
Yes.
know. And it's really hard to do that. Because being, you know, dating's tough, you know.
Yes.
And that's, it's even tougher to say, you know what do I need to work on first, you know? And I
like
really
that.
think you need to do that. You know?
Well, in that respect, you're almost acting like a life coach to them. A dating coach, certainly,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in a sense, a life coach saying, okay, why don't we get you to a good place where you feel good about you, and then we can talk about finding that right match for you. You have to tell me the name of your blog for our viewers, because I've read your blog. It's really fantastic.
Right, yeah. So all my writings are on Lunch Dates. So the website is www.lunchdates.com.
Okay.
And then I have my own dating blog, which is datingcoachofboston.com.
Okay.
So, but you can find both articles in either or.
You're a
so.
terrific writer.
Thanks.
I really enjoyed reading it, and especially the article on first dates
Yeah.
and things like that, because I wrote a big chapter in my book about
Yeah.
first dates, what to do, what not
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And you made a good point earlier. It's about asking the right questions. And not start asking questions like, well, tell me about your background. Where have you been? You know, where's the best place you've traveled to? But then as a guy, because many guys don't listen, we have to listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I found that if you just ask the right questions, you can get people to just chat away for hours. It's really wonderful. So, well, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Is there anything else you want to add in our final minute?
No, I mean, definitely if people haven't found love and they are frustrated with online dating, I would love to help them. I would love to help them find love.
Good.
I mean, I feel like that is why I've been put here on this earth. That is my
It's
mission.
your passion.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
So they can find me at Lunch Dates, and
Wonderful. Thank you
all
so
right.
much, Amy.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome back to Optimist Island with Neil Wood. I hope you enjoyed the show today. There are a number of highlights I just want to wrap up on this. Many people don't have time to go out and find a date. They're busy with a number of things, and what they have found is sometimes hiring a dating coach is just a lot easier and more specific. While I know millions of people, like 50 million, are still on the online dating sites, if they have the time, that's great. But if you're really trying to find love again, you know, it's that time of the year where we want to have romance and go to the beach and do things that are fun. You have to make your call on that, whether it's online or hiring a dating service. Both work. It depends what your needs are and how soon you want to meet somebody. I did find it fascinating that Amy said the range of her clients is 25 to, say, 70. And you know, it shows that even younger people, the millennials, still want to find love, and they're not so turned on by all the apps, and there are 1,500 apps out there. So you have to ask yourself, what's best for you? You know, my goal is to see you happy. We all want to see you happy and perhaps in love and having fun in life. So if we can help in any way, you know how to reach us. We're at the HCAM studio in Hingham, Massachusetts, and we're here just to share some optimism, hope, and positive attitude. Have a great day.